Hello everybody and welcome back to Simon's Gaming Academy. Today we have another 100 point battle report for you between Old Umbre played by Matthew and Gravediggers played by myself. Matt's playing Bohdan and I'm playing Vargus, so I'll go through the list quickly, but lists are in the description. But essentially he's playing Bohdan with 3 Primevals, 2 Animists, 2 Lupine Shifted, 1 Lupine Apex, Vorony, the Chosen of the Witch, 2 units of Liegemen with Primal List upgrades, 2 units of Shearlings, the Hounds, and then his command cards are Blessing of the Gods, Defenses, Hit and Run, Lucky Penny, and Sapper. My list that I'm running is Vargus with Plugger and 3 Swordboard Aggressive Valiants, and Assault Strider, Argo Brock, Stella Baron, 2 units of Gun Mages, 1 unit of Gravedigger Rangers with the Express Sniper. And then I've got Blessing of the Gods, Breakthrough, 1 heavy airdrop, 2 light airdrops, Lucky Penny, Military Engineering, and Old Faithful. So we're playing Best Laid Plans, which is probably one of my least favourite scenarios, because as you can see we're setting up here. The way this works is that you have the 2 cohort 50mm objectives in the middle, the 40mm unit objectives on one side, the caches on the other side, and then flags equidistant in the middle on the board. The reason I don't like this scenario is because I hate the mechanic where the objectives disappear. Because you can put quite a bit on one flank and have the objectives disappear, and the objectives are so far away from each other because these side objectives are only 8 inches on the board. And I'm just going to say now, apologies for cutting off the bottom of the board here. We were recording at Dodgy's place, and basically the lighting was suboptimal and I just didn't do the angles properly, so apologies in advance. Some stuff's going to get cut off at the bottom of the screen, some relevant stuff too, so I'll talk through it when we get to it. But what happens is that because the unit objectives and the caches are 8 inches on from the side, the things that you dedicate to go towards those side objectives, if it is one of the 2 side objectives that disappear, you've then got to push back towards the center, and it becomes this real, I don't know, it comes down to RNG, and I don't like scenarios that come down mostly to RNG, and this is certainly one of those scenarios that happens, because literally on the roll of a D3 determines what scenarios remain in play. Obviously the flags always remain in play, but yeah, I don't know how I would change it. I've said a few times that I wish that each person rolled once for each objective, but anyway. It is what it is, so that's what we're playing today. So you can see that he's got the SKS 6 guys, what are they called, the Hounds, down the bottom here, and then the rest of his army kind of strung out, and it's only a new army, so Matt doesn't have all of it painted up, understandably. And obviously my Strider is definitely a genuine Steamforged Strider, 100%. So he moves up his Primals to optimal positions to get them into threaten my stuff. The primals that he's using, if you've read the list, you already know this, but all of them have hunting spears. One of them has a ruined skull for the channeling, and the 2 of them have bear heads, and one of them has the stag head. And the hunting spears are really good. So base power 15. Bohdan within sight can bring them up to 17, well, +2 to hit and wound, so sorry, +2 to attack rolls and damage rolls, which is amazing. And then if you can get 5 corpses onto them, they get another 2 power, so they can go to a range 19 power weapon with reload, and rat 7, like, seems pretty good. Old Umbre are very good. I've played them a bit now, and played them a bit at the week. Last on the weekend just gone in the OTC, and lost them there as well. So it's been, I know, the rat 6, so they actually got a rat 8 with insight. So amazing, right? So Matt's moved up in position. He's put a couple of the Liegemen down the bottom. He's put the Hounds in the forest. He's got the Chosen of the Witch kind of moving up behind the forest there. And then what I'm measuring out here is essentially the threat range from the War Beasts, which is 13 inches. So I'm not going to want to push up basically beyond that and just give him a free turn 2 charge. That's not what we want to do. What I'm doing is moving over and putting up... Oh, sorry, I should actually say with his rack, he racked Curse of Shadows and Earth Spikes. I'm not sure if that's actually what he did, to be honest. Because I'm pretty sure those Chosen of the Witch actually have Surefoot on them. Anyway, the list you sent me is wrong. It's fine. It's definitely wrong because he's got 2 defenses which are 5 hits. Perfect. So yeah, so look, we're just moving up and staying out of his threat ranges. Befuddle can walk things 3 inches, so essentially what I'm doing with these ward jacks is positioning them behind the wall, so the 3-inch walk can't get them over the wall, because there's no need to extend that far. Plugger's pretty safe down where he is now. You'll see that I'm measuring threat ranges from the Liegemen, I'm measuring threat ranges from the Hounds, measuring threat ranges from the Chosen, because I've been hurt by the Chosen before, and spoiler alert, it's going to happen again this game. I hate the Chosen. So I'm getting out of the threat range of those 3 units, essentially, because what I want to do over this side is get control of these 2 objectives if I can, and if it stays in play, then I can sit the gun mages that are going to come up behind and Plugger in a second, and I can just camp those 2 objectives with gun mages and just feed focus to Plugger. And then everything else can push into the middle, is my thought. And then what I've dedicated to the right side objective is the Assault Strider. So if they stay in play, the Assault Strider can essentially walk and get rid of his cash and then put some pressure on from that side. So it's probably not a great use of the Strider, but that's what I've chosen to know in this game, and it's a good way to contest my cash and stop him from scoring it, essentially. So what we did there is that the trenches moved up. He's got Windstorm. That was the other. There you go. So he definitely doesn't have Curse of Shadows and Earth Spikes. He's got Surefoot and the other rack spell, which is the one that's -3 range. Windstorm. Those are his rack spells. And so the only model that was out of Windstorm and Righteous Vengeance for the Chosen is that one that I shot, and then he turned it into the Apex Bear, who's the Apex Wolf, who is very annoying. Walk and leap and unstoppable. Like they're quite a force to be reckoned with. You can see that my spike trap is down the bottom here where it is at its basically maximum 24. I really like the spike trap for this reason, in that you can put it basically 3 inches from that unit objective, and you know that your opponent's going to be sending units towards that objective, and so you're getting use out of the spike trap where ordinarily you might not be getting good use out of it. So Matt's measuring out what he's going to do here. Basically he's walking up these primals within 10 inches of my Valiants and just having a go and trying to get a crit slam. So I've got decel up at the moment, and so these guys are armor 23 against range, so if he doesn't get the crit slam, like, he's not really doing a whole lot of damage with a power 15 at the moment. Dice -8, he might do 2 or 3 here or there. Of note, the Assault Strider has Arcane Shield on it, and the rock wall is obviously where those Valiants are. So he moves up, does it with the second one. Didn't get any crits with the first one, so there was no slams. This one, again, he's shooting into def 16, so these guys do need 10s to hit, and they need to crit with a 10 to hit, and he doesn't even hit, I don't think, with any of them. So then he doesn't really have a place for the third one to throw his spear to get range on those, because it's only range 10, doesn't have snipe, doesn't have any way to extend it. So this third one basically isn't going to get a shot, he's just going to get a reposition and put him in a spot where he can threaten my Jackson. And you can see that it's basically my 3 Valiants against his 3 Primals. So he moves the Hounds up, takes some shots. Again, you can't see it here, but he moves up, he takes some shots into, I keep calling him Old Rowdy, but he's not Old Rowdy, into Plugger. And basically doesn't do anything, but he's got, a couple of guys within 5 inches of him, so can see through his stealth, but just doesn't do enough work. Plugger, because of his extended control range, even though he's out of the range of deceleration, still counts as having deceleration, because the actual wording of the spell is while in their control range, and when you're checking to see if he's in control range, you double it, so essentially from 24 inches away he gets decel, so he's currently 12-21, and the Hounds don't do a whole lot. So Matt comes back to the table here and has a look at what's happening, and he hasn't done any damage to Plugger, he hasn't done any damage to the Valiants and hasn't slammed them, and feels like he's in quite a poor position here, and you can see me just ADHDing my way through the thinking time. And he's basically wondering what he should do. And at this point, I think what's going through his head is do I jam or do I hold off and try and, let a couple of pieces die and then hit back? And then, in the position that he's in, if he backs off, he's giving me the opportunity, because Vargus can, have a with the sword and board Valiants, they have a threat of 14 with a fuel cache, and at least 2 of those warjacks down the bottom are going to be in range of the same fuel cache, if not all 3. And so the thought with that is that basically that if he backs off at this point in time, I'm probably going to take those 2 primals without much reprisal, because I'll be able to feed. I'll go to arm 24, and then he'll only have 1 primal to hit me back with, and even with inside up, you're not going to kill him with Liegemen or Shearlings, I guess, are the options, and the Chosen of the Witch if he decides to pull them back. So if he doesn't commit here, essentially, he's allowing me to take the 2 objectives in the middle, the 2 objectives at the bottom, because their cache has disappeared, and score my flag as well. So if I can do that, I'm going to be scoring 4 or 5 in my turn, and so he can't really afford to go down by that much in this scenario, especially if I've got a heavy presence on the left. And this is why I've got Plugger in this list, and I played a game prior to this and I didn't utilize Plugger very well, but essentially what happened is that Plugger was able to he's able to control the side of the board with the unit, so it's just Plugger and a unit of Gun Mages, and essentially all that you do, because Plugger is pretty much always in control range regardless of where he is, he will always have 1 focus from power up, you get 2 from the Gun Mages, they just do a single shot for whatever, and they can camp unit objectives, and that frees up everything else to go elsewhere. And it's one of the reasons why I really like Plugger for what he does. So he's going with Bohdan now, basically deciding what he wants to do. He moves him up the board and says, I've measured to him and say, I'm within range with my warjacks now if I wanted to get into your cluster. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. He moves up and feeds. Bohdan's basically unkillable on defeat. Like, I can probably do it if I can kill all the warrior models around him, which potentially is an option with this list, because the Valiants at speed 7 or speed 9 with the fuel crate, whatever it's called, and with boosted shots on the volley shields, I could potentially clear out all the stuff around him and then get a warjack to him. But and with Vargus as well, like there is a not 0 chance that I can probably kill Bohdan with this, but I don't go for that in this situation. But as you can see, he's putting all of these models around Bohdan to make him a little bit more resilient, and then he moves up the Chosen of the Witch, and then that's where they stay for now. More stuff moves around Bohdan. Bohdan's put up Windstorm in this case, and so I think he's camping 4 at this point, maybe 3. I can't even remember. And then the Liegemen on the right and the Wolf move in. So the Wolf has a go at Plugger, does a little bit of damage, nothing to kind of take out any systems, nothing significant. And so the rest of his army moves up. So turn 2. So you will see some of my mispositioning here. So even I have this issue with Gravediggers in that my thoughts are almost always with that I want to charge stuff. Right, it's a game of melee. Positioning wise, I need to get models in, and I need to put them onto objectives to score objectives. And it's probably like I'm trying to end the game quicker than I need to. But this is one of my cardinal mistakes. So right here, I move up and I engage this guy with a gun mage. I need a 6 to hit. I don't get the 6 to hit. Right, sad times. Because you should. If I can kill that guy, I can free up the trencher, the express sniper, and then the rest of the guys can just shoot the rest of the other guys that are in trenches and around that area to clear out Plugger. Because what I'm trying to do here is get rid of the Liegemen and the Apex Shifted, I want to say it's called. Lupine Shifted. I want to clear that out so that I can move my Plugger into the hounds and take them out. And then if I can do that, I've got control of these 2 unit objectives. As you can see, the closest thing I think is an Animist on this side. So if I can clear out these 2 objectives on the left, I feel like I've got the game won unless I give him the opportunity for an assassination. And that's basically what I'm playing for this game, this turn, and it's eventually what causes me to overcommit on this side. Also, some poor life choices with my Trencher Rangers as well. So the Gun Mages have moved up. I've fully powered all of the Warjacks at this point. I'm looking to see where Vargus can walk to. I'm in a Dust Devil there, so the +2 defense is great, but I want to move somewhere that I can shoot with my gun, which I absolutely 100% did not need to do at all. He puts up Carnage. And then has a couple of shots with his gun from the Dust Devil. So he's way too far up at this point. So he could be further back. I know that those that the heavies threat 13 inches. The Chosen of the Witch are in the way, which is a big problem, and I should have dealt with them better than I do eventually. But then we go to the random shots here, and this is just I think it was just Vargus shooting and stuff, and so boosting. He's got powerful weapon on his machine gun, so boosting hit and damage. So now the trenches are freed up, right? So all I should be doing is standing, aiming, and shooting at these guys. It is 100% not what I do. So I think there's only 3. I want to say there's 3 Liegemen left, maybe 4, and the Wolf. The Wolf, which is engaging Plugger. Plugger has Unstoppable, so it doesn't actually matter that Wolf is there. I could have just walked Plugger out. I forget that he has Unstoppable. He's just one of those models that just has all of the rules. And again here, because of the decision that I've made to charge, the machine guns are basically useless. Where I could have just stood still and CR8 and just removed all these models, essentially. Even at Def 16, like you can do a 2-man, or probably a 4-man CR8 and go for that 6. And that was my thought, is that these guys are in a trench. They're going to be really hard to shift. Unless I charge them, then I'm not going to be able to do much. So I kill the first one. He replaces the first one with a Lupine Apex, I believe, the 2.1. And then that means that I need to commit more things over this side because he's contesting. And so I put 3 trench blades into the Lupine Apex and kill it. I'm pretty sure they have Silence of Death on them, and they have Argo's thing, maybe? Anyway, they did well. And then they drop down a blocker. Right, this is I love this play. The Rangers go, the blocker comes out, and then he has some wax and some sprays into stuff. So that's all the Liegemen gone at this point, and then just that Lupine Shifted left. No, Lupine Apex left, and the blocker removes him with a stab and with a spray. So then I go, oh, okay, easy. Let's move Plugger up. Plugger's a Warjack with Mat 8 into the Hounds. We can quite easily remove them from the table. Spoiler alert, we can't. So he toughs the first one. He's still standing up. He's got 1 left. And then so that was the first attack. The second attack goes into him, he kills him, and then I've got 3 more attacks, needing 6s hit, and I don't roll any of those 6s. So there's I think maybe he kills the second one, and then, or the gun kills one. Something happens. Essentially, one of the Hounds is left on this side, and it's one of the ones that is in range of both my unit objective and his unit objective. So he's contesting both, and I've got no way to get rid of that guy, essentially. And he's, 14, 15 now that Shield Wall's down, but there was no way for Plugger to get more attacks in, which is sad times for Plugger. And so now I'm considering that I've done this on the left flank and I've lost all the stuff that I need to on this side. Like, what the hell am I going to do now? Is essentially what I'm thinking to myself. And that Chosen of the Witch is in the way. So ideally what I would have liked to have done is charge into that the Primal on the left hand side, but I don't think that I have the ability to get into him, or maybe I just don't see it here. But essentially I fleet and then charge. I probably do have range, honestly, to get within 2 inches there looking at it, because he's the one that really needs to die, because he's the one that is currently within range of my caster, and I don't basically see that. And I put all my attacks into this one in the middle, who is like important, don't get me wrong, but probably in the grand scheme of things inconsequential. And so we do some attacks. We've got Carnage up, so these guys are Mat 9. Vargus is feeded at this point as well. You can see the feed token. And then, yeah, I just go, right, well, I can't charge anything. So he moves up. And then this guy really doesn't have a whole lot to do. So he's going to be Rat 8 against the Primals. But they're def 17 in combat and they're all engaged now. I should have done, like, honestly, I should have done him first. I've just got order of activation issues here. If this guy goes up and goes first, then I'm needing 5s to hit and I'm power 14. You can drop an ammo crate on him to make him power 16 against large targets, large base models, and he would have actually done probably a little bit of damage against those guys, which would have been better. But anyway, he wasn't able to because I put the Warjack in first. Order of activation issues are going to happen when you do dumb shit like me. So the second Valiant then goes in. He puts his charge jack into the one that he charged with his shield, and then starts buying attacks into the middle Primal and remove him, right? And then I look at the table state and I was like, oh, I don't really have a whole lot that I can do here with the third Valiant. Because we've got Chosen of the Witch in the way. I can't get to that Primal that I want to get to. I can probably charge past the wall and hit that guy without getting the wall bonus. But they're already def 16. And I'm Mat 9. And so I charge into her, the one that does blind, and I miss my charge attack. And then I do the shield attack, doesn't do anything. Then I buy and boost into her again. Actually, I think I do maybe 2 attacks instead. Oh no, then I do the gunshots. None of them get into her because she's def 20 over the wall. I'm Rat 6, I need 14, so none of them go in. And then I do a little bit of damage. And then that's the end of my turn. And so we're scoring 1 each for each flag, because I didn't score the one at the bottom and the cash has disappeared. I'm contesting his 50, he's contesting my 50. So we're basically not doing anything at this point. In terms of scenario, whereas I was expecting potentially to be able to go up 4-1 this turn, and that would have put me in like quite a good stead, I was thinking. And then he's measuring and he's like, right, you're in threat range of this beast. I, of note, also completely forget at this point that he has Befuddle. I don't think there's any way that he can move that Valiant, and I'm like, I'm at 24. He's not going to kill it, even with the Chosen of the Witch, even with the Primal over there. The other Primal's engaged. Like, there's no way that he can get this Warjack out of the way. And then you'll see what happens. So Bohdan moves up. He casts Insight for 4. So essentially he becomes Arcane 8. Arcane attack 7 goes to 9. And I'm def 20. And so all he needs is an 11. And he hits an 11 on the nose. The Valiant walks away. So if he doesn't get that 11, I think I'm in an amazing spot for this game. But he hits the 11. What happens then is that he moves up so that Vargus is within insight range, and so the Chosen of the Witch will charge to these points on the table, and then they get to go into me. So blind one goes first, she of course hits. I'm def 15, they're Mat 7, they need 8s with what is the ability called, which is so importance on the unit. Divine Inspiration. So looking for 8s on Divine Inspiration. The blind one goes first, hits me. I get -4 def, so I go from def 15 to def 11. And then the rest of them put attacks into me. The third guy misses with a 111 on Divine Inspiration, which is just chef's kiss. But the thing that doesn't miss is the Primal. Oh, yeah, so sorry, this Primal is engaged. And so these bloody goats charge my Valiant and knock it down so that he's no longer engaged, and then the Primal charges in, and then he's, I'm def 13 over the wall. This thing is Mat 10, so he needs anything but the hit, and so the charge attack hits me and kills me. That's GG's. So thank you everybody for watching. Unfortunately a bit of a shorter one this time because I put my caster in a dumb position and got him killed, and that will happen when you're playing Warmachine. Sometimes you just don't see these things on the table that you get to see in the video recording that you look at 2 weeks later and then commentate on. Obviously, you can see that that was a bad position to be in. I was expecting to kill at least one of the Chosen, and the fact that, you know, over a wall they're def 18, even though I am mat 9 and I'm just needing 9. Yeah, that's maths. Needing 9 on my charge attack, and that should remove one of them. I didn't get it, and when that happens, and your opponent then needs an 11 and does get it to befuddle you out of the way, these things happen. So yeah, that is the battle report. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these. If you want me to change anything, or you have any recommendations or questions, queries, anything like that, post them below. Always looking to improve what I'm doing. If you want me to explain things, somebody commented that they wanted army photos, or like an army like rolling video at the start of the videos, and I will start doing that. It's just that Matt's stuff was mostly unpainted, and so there wasn't really any point in doing that. But from now on, I will be doing like an army showcase essentially at the start of the videos, and talking about the lists when I do that, and then we'll get into the game. So I think that's a good improvement to make, and yeah, willing to hear from everyone else if you want other improvements to be made. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.